Can I see that right? So everyone, the first time when I first came to the company, and I was watching different videos, I'm not going to say what exactly she did. She was in Vegas. It wasn't crazy. She was, I think, downtown Fresh Street or something, like Fremont, and dancing outside. And it was like the best video. And I told myself, I cannot wait to meet this woman. She is hysterical. And then you meet her, and she is the most positive person. We went across the bridge for dinner. It said 6 minutes away. Seriously, that GPS hates us. And Jennifer's husband's here. He can attest to this. He was very good that night to help us. And this woman was so positive the whole time, and she was the one that held us together. She told us, hey, let's just go this way, let's go that way. I'm game with anything. And so I know that she's here to inspire you because you're all game to learn from what she has to offer you. So without further ado, everybody, please welcome to the stage our Black Status presenter, Billy West.
Hi guys. She forgot to mention at dinner last night we all picked straws and I got the short stick, so I get you guys in the food coma after lunch. Just kidding. So as Julie said, my name is Billy Weck. Going back to what Nicole said, say yes every opportunity you get. So when Julie came to me and asked me to speak today, it was an absolute no-brainer. Heck yes. I will, but then the hard question came and she said to me, you know, what are you really passionate about in this business? What gets you really excited and fired up? And that was the hard question for me because anybody who knows me, I tend to be a little excitable and I get really passionate about everything that I do. I believe if you're gonna do something, just do it or don't do it at all. But with this business, when I sat down and I really kind of pulled myself together and thought about everything this business means to me, it took me back to the same place every single time. My God, I don't cry either. And that's my team, and that's who was just chanting Mama. We're the makeup mob, and they call me Mama of the Mob. It's one of our hashtags. And so anytime we go anywhere, that's the introduction I get, and I love it. Thank you guys. And it's a huge part of my why. My team is everything. And I can't say it's my entire why because I'm also married and the mom of 2 gorgeous little girls. But aside from my family, aside from my girls that I'm working so hard, my husband works so hard every single day to give a great life to, my team is the reason I get up and push and do what I do every single day. And I can't look at them. And so I want to talk to you guys about a topic that it can make your business so super fun and anything you want it to look like. I also believe it can make or break your business, and that's team culture. And so we're going to talk about what it is, why it is so hugely important, and I love that I have the Lash twins right here. You guys have an amazing team culture that just screams everywhere you go, and I love the hats. I saw your picture making them. But we're going to talk about what it is, why it's so hugely important, how to create it, how to maintain it, and then I have a challenge for all of you. So let's get right into it. So speaking on team culture, that is me. Thank you. Because after lunch, it's not all like, woo! So I appreciate that. So to break it down, you guys, what is team culture? Team is defined as a group of people working together to achieve a specific goal. Culture can be explained easiest blah, 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 by what we say, it's what we do, and it's what we value. And so simply put, team culture is when you combine the two of these together. It's a group of people working together to achieve a common goal and how you go about doing it. And in black and white, it looks very simple, right? But it's so huge in our business. And I believe that a winning culture is a team culture. So I love that there's so many basketball players. I was also a huge basketball player, sports fan my entire life. Does everybody know who this guy on the left is? Michael Jordan, right? Everybody knows, if you know basketball, you know who Michael Jordan is. So he's a star, right? He was the fastest. He was the jump the highest, like the air Mike, you know. He was accurate. He was a star at basketball. But Michael Jordan would have never been a champion and would have never earned that championship ring without his team. You could be, and I'm relating that to our business because there's a lot of comparisons made in this business, and a lot of times we hear comparison as a negative thing, right? Don't compare yourself to anybody else, it's a thief of joy. But if you're comparing yourself to people to find your own value, yes, it's a very awful thing. But it can also motivate you, right? We have the top 10 leaderboards. We have, the Plus You campaign, who recruited the most people. There's things that you want to see your name there. It drives you, it motivates you. So there's always comparisons made in this business. And my point is that, you could be a star at PRS. You could be absolutely amazing at sales. But if you truly want to get to the top in this business, we have to come together and be a team, and that's how that'll happen. And together, everyone achieves more, and I truly, truly, truly believe that. So why does it matter so much? Well, I just touched on it a little bit, and it matters from an emotional side of things. It's nice. I mean, the second, and this is my opinion, but I really stand strong by it, the second you decide to sponsor someone into this business, it doesn't matter if you were one of the girls that raised your hand in the beginning when she said, "Where's my white status leader that just started?" The second you decide to sign someone into your business, you now just became a leader. Someone just trusted in you enough to make a life-changing decision and join your team. That's huge. So in return, my hope for everyone is that you'll get the best back in return. It doesn't mean you need to know everything. It doesn't mean you need to be perfect. You figure it out, but you give them the best that you can while you're doing that. So how many people in this room have signed at least one person onto their team? Awesome. And if you're new or you maybe haven't approached the sponsoring world, how many people in this room plan to at least sponsor one person onto their team? So I'm referring to this entire room for the rest of this presentation as leaders, because you are. And the thing about our business too is that the second you decide to sponsor somebody onto your team, you can decide to make your team culture look like whatever you want it to be. No more excuses of my upline this or my that. Excuses are gone. And I'm going to be touching on that in a little bit too. And the reason I say this is because it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. People will forget that. Maybe not forget it totally, but it's not, it's not going to be what sticks here. People will never forget how you made them feel. And so how many times do we see people that are, and hopefully you're never ever saying, "Join my team." I feel like that phrase should be banned from our vocabulary when you become a presenter, but so many times, you hear people, "Join my team, join my team, join my team, I'm gonna take you to the top, it's gonna be great to do, woo!" Like, they're added to the team page and then they just kind of like vanish and you're like, oh. And that drives me bananas. It drives me crazy because that's a life-changing opportunity that just potentially got missed because it's how we're wired. Most people need attention and guidance to thrive. Okay, and so that's like the feel-good side of things. Like, you don't want to just leave somebody hanging high and dry. But from a business standpoint, put all the feels aside, how you make people feel will be directly linked to how productive they are. And how productive someone is directly linked to their level of engagement. And engaged presenters equal your bottom line. And the only difference between being productive is when you're doing stuff. Engaged is when you're in it. You're in it to win it. You're mind, heart, and soul in the business. And there's a very big difference. And so I believe that if you're going to have a chance of bringing people into your business, and give them the best they can to succeed. They need to feel good when that happens, because when they feel good, then they'll be productive. When they're productive, then they become engaged. And when they're engaged, now they're becoming successful. And that's why we're all here, right? To help as many people as we can find success. So I said in the beginning that I believe team culture is something that A, can make your business super fun, and B, it could also make or break you in this business. I'm gonna add one more thing to that. I also believe that a super, super strong and positive team culture can also put your business on the fast track. Okay, so this is huge, you guys. So I'm assuming everyone is here today because you all want to succeed, correct? That's what we all want, right? Woo! And so, yes, absolutely. And so I hope this comes as no surprise to you, but I believe that in order to create a strong and positive team culture, it has to start with you. You are the heart. Like I said, doesn't matter what happened before, doesn't matter what's going on over here. You make that decision. You're either going to do it or you're not. You could create what you want, your vision is, what you want it to be, and then go after it. But to break that down a little bit more, honest. Katie Thompson said this yesterday. I was sitting listening to her, and I was so inspired by you yesterday, and so many things you said that I just totally connected with. But what gain is anyone getting if you have a team member coming to you for advice, for an opinion, for whatever, and you're afraid you're going to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to upset them? No one's going to grow from that. You're not going to grow as their leader, and they're not going to grow in their business. All you did was add a bunch of fluff to the confusion that was already there. All right, so you have to be able to be honest with people, and it's hard. It's not always easy, but you have to get to that place. And going back to what Nicole spoke on, a lot of personal development, a lot of positive approach on things, and you can get there, but you have to approach all things with honesty, and all things with honesty in your entire business, because your team watches everything that you do. And the thing is that you, like I said, you don't have to have all the answers or be perfect, but when you approach all things honestly and with good intent, mistakes are learning opportunities. You can grow from them. Whereas if you don't, they could truly hurt your business. So approaching all things honestly, I think, is so key. Excited and encouraging. So originally I only had encouraging on this slide, but again, I'm incapable of talking about anything without talking about excitement, because I really do believe it's so huge and so effective. So imagine if you're not excited about your business and you're just going through the motions, no one else on your team is going to be excited. You have to find what you're passionate about, or what gets you excited about this business, or what's the reason you joined. We talked about that yesterday too. There's a whole array of why people join this business. Think back to what is the reason you originally started, and grab a hold of that so tightly that you wake up every single morning excited to let your 2 feet hit the floor so you could go and do, and just stay really excited. It's contagious. And just like we talked about negativity being contagious, excitement is exactly the same, just on the other end of the spectrum. And encouraging, I mean, that's what we do, right? Uplift, empower, and validate. We've heard it all day long. That's who we are. The thing with encouragement, though, because obviously we're all grown women here, we know what the wording to be encouraging means. But the thing that's a little tricky, and again, kind of playing off of what Nicole said about like the love languages, when you have people on your team, you have to learn what encourages them. Okay, so what motivates me, maybe you could care less about. What you get super excited about, maybe isn't my thing. You know what I mean? So you have to find what motivates your team, really get to know them, and then encourage them every way that you can. We talked, Kara Lewis-Newton did an amazing presentation yesterday on recognition. That's the #1 way we encourage in this business because of the nature of our business. And it's so powerful and so effective. Being approachable. This is a biggie. So it doesn't matter how great of a leader you think you are, or you want to be, or you've always got to, I always say, check your ego at the door and let's carry on, because we're all equals. It doesn't matter what status, what level, what this, what that. We're all the same. We're all here for the same reason. We all do the same exact things to get where we go. We all got the same $99 kit, and we all were given the same opportunity. It's up to you what you make of it. And the worst thing that can happen is as you grow, the head kind of grows with it a little. It's not good, and it'll crush your business. And so my team knows that I basically have an online open door policy. They know that they can come to me at any time for anything. That being said, as your team grows, that gets very difficult. So we also teach, where to go, look for it first, go to your sponsor, go to your upline elite, so on and so forth. But I hope, and I think I could say this confidently, that every single person, from somebody who just joined today to Holly Haskell, my elite, who's here with me today, who was my first person I ever personally sponsored into the business, knows they can come to me for anything. And here's a little tip I want to give you guys too. Something I just implemented in my business maybe about 6 to 8 months ago. So I have a team page, which is where people, everybody adds people to their team page. I have another page that I'm going to actually talk about in a little bit, and then I add them to Billy's Personals. And it's just a place that's just for us. It's my personally sponsored. You chose me, you're putting your trust in me. I'm going to give us a special place to go. So they just have a little bit more of immediate access. So as your teams grow, this was great for me just to be able to see everything, because again, as your teams grow, things can tend to get lost. And that was huge for me. But always stay grounded in this business, and always remember that we're all the same here. We're all equals, and we're all doing what we're doing every single day at the end of the day for the same reason. Being a respectful role model, which is hysterical because I love that that's the video. I was in Fremont Street, and this guy, there was a huge crowd, and he called me out to twerk, and I'm like, it was a backwards bunny hop. Like, that's what my sister videoed. It was hysterical. But we said it earlier, your Facebook page, Jen touched on it. Nicole, I think you touched on it. Your Facebook page is your storefront. Like it or not, that's what happens when you become a unique presenter. I say that in almost every training video I make to my team, no matter what it's about, because that's our #1 main vehicle, because we're an online-based business. Your Facebook page is your storefront. And so not only are your customers and any of your friends and family, whoever's following you, seeing that, but your team is also seeing that. So it doesn't mean you need to be stuffy. And what, I like to have a lot of fun. My team knows that. I have a lot of fun with them. But you have to maintain a level of professionalism, because we are presenters for this incredible company. And if you want to be taken seriously as a leader or a business owner, you have to present yourself as such. Okay, so being a respectful role model is huge. And in order to cultivate a positive and strong team culture, you need to act accordingly to that. And then lastly, being trustworthy. So this one's pretty short and sweet. Do what you say you're going to do, and lead from the front. We talked yesterday heavily, Katie did, on management versus leadership. There's a huge difference, you guys. And anyone can stand there and say, do this, book parties, do that, don't do that, da-da-da-da-da. But when you're doing stuff with your team, when you're leading from the front, you can't fail. You'll figure it out together. You'll make those mistakes that become learning experiences. We did a whole lot of them. Holly's been with me since day one. It was a hot mess in the beginning. I had no sales experience. Again, huge tomboy. That seems to be a theme too, which is hysterical. Like, I was a huge tomboy. I had the same 4 or 5 makeup products since I was 14, which I'm saying makeup products, it was like CVS, what's cheap, slap it on and go kind of thing. I didn't know anything about anything, so we had a lot to figure out. But we figured it out together, and because of that, my team trusted me. And when you can build that trust with your team members, you have loyalty, you have respect, and you have people that you're growing with. And there's no better way to develop that tightness with people, that closeness that everybody wants, than doing that, than having them trust you. Excuse me. And so this is just kind of, once you know what you want your team culture to look like, again, it starts with you. Doesn't matter what else has happened or is happening. And it's like a domino effect. What you do, if you're doing things, like I said, honestly, and you're gaining trust and respectful and all of those things, you're that first domino that your team is then going to trickle down to their teams, and then their leaders are going to do that for their team, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, it naturally kind of happens, but it has to start with you. And so, if I had to pick values that are really super important to my team, or would describe my team, positive, we approach all things with a positive attitude. I have a super, it's not an option, no negativity on the team page. If you're going to come on the team page and be negative, we're going to have a conversation. If it happens after that, you're not on the team page any longer. It's not to be mean. It doesn't mean I don't like you. It means that that's not a value our team, the Makeup Mob, upholds. So it doesn't fit with our culture. Supportive. So I told you guys I have 3 team pages. I add them to my team page. This is the meat and potatoes. This is how to do what, where to start, where to go to ask questions, how to start strong videos. It's the info you need to know to run your business. The other one was Billy's Personals. That's my peeps, my personally sponsored little place that we have together. My third, and this was so huge for our team, is called Makeup Mob Celebrations. It is legit my favorite group I've ever been a part of in my entire life. It is our team page, because we keep the meat and potatoes on the team page where people need to start to know how to work their business. And then Makeup Mob Celebrations, if you guys don't have a celebrations page with your team, it was amazing to see what happened when we created that. That's where we welcome people, say how we know them, how we connected, welcome them to the team. That's where, you know, so-and-so just had their first sale, so-and-so just hit yellow, woo, she's 200 to pink. And you drop a new team member into that kind of culture on the first day when they're so super excited about this amazing, life-changing opportunity they just decided to start for themselves. And you can't help but to trickle that on to them. And so right out of the gate, our team sees nothing but super positivity, excitement, love for one another, and us being crazy supportive together. And then hardworking. Like I said, this goes back to the whole leading from the front. We do booking blitzes together. You know, a manager could tell you, well, you need to go book parties. A leader says, hey, let's go book parties together. We do recruiting campaigns. We do challenges. We run incentives. We create excitement. Success being the main focus, results being the main focus, but we're doing it together, and our team is not afraid to work hard. And fun. I mean, we have a really good time. We keep things as lighthearted as possible while our goals are still always, you know, where we're all headed. But we have a ton of fun together. I mean, imagine if every conversation you had with a person was just about work, was just about the business. You're going to get to know them, they're going to get to know you, but it's going to kind of be like that shallow, I don't know, it's kind of shallowish, co-worker-y type of relationship, where if you really get to know somebody, then friendships start to develop. And when friendships start to develop, your team culture just got even way tighter than it already maybe was. And so have fun together, invest in the person. That's just basically what I was saying. Get to know them. You know, things outside of unique. What do they do for fun? Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? Do they like to travel? Invest in people, get to know them. And when you watch those friendships grow, you'll watch your culture grow stronger, because when you invest in others, people will invest in you. And so once you have created the culture that you want, that you've visualized and you want to have with your team, and you became the heart of your team, and you pass that on, and you create that, and you spread that love, and you spread that vibe and what you want it to be, now you have to maintain it. And this part can get tricky, because as your team grows, it's not just you bringing people into the business now, it's your team members bringing people into the business. So first and foremost, you protect your team. I kind of love that the makeup mom, like it just happened where I became mama of the mom, but I'm the mama bear of my team. Don't come into our team page and be negative. Don't try to be dishonest with one of my, I mean, it's the worst thing you could do. The claws come out. It's like one of my kids. Like, you know what, anybody who has kids in here, like when mama bear comes out, it's not good. And, you know, going back to the domino effect, it starts with you, and you kind of trickle that down. So when you have somebody coming in and giving you resistance against the values that your team upholds, you have to be able to shut that down and protect your team because it's toxic. Oh, just kidding. I have on here, you know, just getting new team members on board, but usually this just kind of naturally happens. So again, going back to the domino effect, when you do something and when you truly lead from the front, you're not just saying the things you should be doing, you're doing them. And so it just kind of happens like one of the last, Jennifer, I think said earlier, like we just don't have negativity on our page. We just don't anymore either. Maybe, you know, when we were establishing our culture, you would see it here and there and we would handle it and move on. We don't dwell on it because negativity will grow if it's given energy. But now it's not really like a thing because as new members are coming into the team page, they just know that that's not us. That's not who we are. It's not what we're about, and it's not a value of our team. In addition to protecting your team, you also have to love on your team. And this is not something I'm saying to you guys to do because you should do it. You should want to do this, okay? So make it more than just about business. Like I said, going back to the friendships, really get to know and invest in your team members. We have get-togethers, we celebrate things together. The night our team hit black status, it's funny, not funny. So we're at my parents, and I'm, what do they call it? Wyboka? Where you're like upset, refresh, like what is happening? This is not real. And we're at my parents, and then we leave, and my husband and I live only 10 minutes away from my mom and dad. By the time we got home, it was like maybe around 9 o'clock-ish, maybe a little earlier. I don't remember.
Yeah, 9-ish.
Okay, so my husband passes out on the couch, and the kids go to bed. And I'm sitting there waiting to hit black status. I'm like, this can't happen. Like, I'm gonna, like, I don't know what to do right now. And so I went on the team page, and I'm like, guys, this is happening. P.S. My husband is sleeping, and my kids are in bed. Like, And Dee Kilmer, one of my green leads who just hit at the end of last month, she was literally at my house in 20 minutes. Her husband drove us. Came and picked me up, and another one of our team members who is a lawyer in Philly, crazy busy, insane life. She was like, nope, I'll be there, I'm meeting you. She was home for the weekend. And here they come, and here's my girls, and I'm now no longer, which the funniest part of the whole story is that I live in a very rural, small town. Very country, lots of mountains. So guess what? When we got to where we were going, we had no Wi-Fi. We had no service. Dee literally grabbed the phone out of my hand and ran behind the barn. She's like, you've got to do something. Like, we have to. You don't. And by the time we did, we had hit. But I was with my team to celebrate, and I just totally got goosebumps. And like, I can't imagine it being any other way it was. And how amazing again, I literally like put a post on the team page and 20 minutes later I had to ride at my back. Like, it was incredible, and I will never, ever forget that. So, you know, like I said, what you give, you get, and we give a lot of love in the mob, and I think we get a lot of love back because of it, and it has created this culture that it's really, like when I was doing it, it's hard to explain. It's not so much of, guys, do this and you'll get this result. It's a way to do things, but when you do, it affects everything in your business. And I mean everything, truly. And so, as I started this presentation, I explained how I chose this topic to speak on, and I explained that my team was a big part of my why, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. When I first started, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, I was a really bored stay-at-home mom for almost 5 years. I'm not wired to be a stay-at-home mom. My husband knew that, I knew that, but we thought it was the best thing for our kids, and you know, any moms can probably relate. You lose a little bit of that fire that you always had and that passion. And so when I found Unique, I wanted more at the time. And my God, did I find it with Unique, and then some. So I put my head down and I went. I literally think I was in the business for like 2 days, and I said, you know what? By my 1-year anniversary, I'm gonna go black. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't understand the comp plan. Again, I'm still not wearing any makeup, like CVS products from 4th grade, like not kidding. I had no clue. But I was like, you know what, go big or go home. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. I put my head down there, ran. I learned everything I could learn from top leaders of the company that I followed from day one, which I'm forever grateful for. And so I grew a team quickly. And when their successes started to happen, that was when my why shifted faster than I even knew what hit me. There is no greater joy, nothing I am more proud of, other than my 2 little girls, than knowing that you are single-handedly a part of helping change others' lives for the better, for the good. And sometimes it's small. You know, we all have our kidnappers. They're there for the discount. They're there to make a couple bucks. Awesome. But then there's the examples that are so much bigger than every single one of us in this room. Women who have gotten their families out of really bad situations. Moms who are able to leave their jobs and stay home. It's not public yet, so I can't say her name. She's here, and she's resignation. And now she's going to be home with her babies. And she told me day one that she joined, which was only in November, guys. My why is to be home with my babies, and guess what? She did it. And less than a week ago, she put her resignation in, and holy God, you talk about Or how about women that find confidence in them that you never knew existed? Or friendships, a home with Unique, a family that maybe you never had. So that is why your team culture matters so much. And when you make a vision of what you want it to be and you create it, you protect that bad boy like your life depends on it. Because your success does. Your team's success does. So, in closing, I told you guys I had a challenge for you. Oh, and I think I totally just skipped a bunch of stuff. I started talking and I did. We do things going back to the branding that Jennifer talked about. You know, part of your team culture is the things like your team swag, your team name. We have the last Schwinn training, we had sweatshirts just made up a little bit before that we all wore. It said, I woke up like this, with Unique down the side. We were a hot mess that day because it was a very long ride, so we clearly did not wake up like that. And then on the back was like a little winky face, and it said Unique. Silly little things, but things that are special to your team. Hashtag Make Up Mom Proud. You will see it on every post I put up about my team. Things like that. Daily communication. That's our logo. Arms linked for a reason. You don't mess with my team. You don't mess with each other, right? We all feel this way. And our slogan being together we could do anything, because I truly, truly, truly believe that with a strong and positive team culture, you legit, and a positive mind, you legit can do anything. And so this is my challenge to you. People join people, but the team culture is what is going to keep them. And not just keep them, but keep them engaged, keep them excited, keep them active in the business. So be someone that you would want to join, and then create a culture that you would never be able to leave. And when you do that, success happens, period. And this is one of my favorite quotes. It's very simple, but it's powerful. When you work hard and you're kind, amazing things happen. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. So, we're gonna do the first ever Empower You. Tori did the whole like Ellen selfie. Grab your neighbor, give a big squeeze, take all that love and take it home to your team and smother them in it. And you guys will all watch. Picture.
She's singing with me. Oh, where's the picture? Oh, God. Let's keep it together.
That's awesome. That was cool. And I will have a really cool picture. I just took a camera. So take all that love, you guys. Take it home to your teams. Love on them, protect them, and I'll see everybody at the top.